Most people lose promotions, lose jobs more because of their emotional intelligence than their actual intelligence. And it just felt like a very brush off solution to something that genuinely changed my life as a leader and genuinely changed the way I view the world. And I don't know if I should say this right now, but I almost quit being an executive coach. I am sick and tired of talking to the screen or the screen talking to me and I can't talk back.
Hi, Carol. How are you today?
Hi, Kate, how are you?
Good, good. So, I heard the news that you are planning to launch your program very soon. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how you came up with the idea, what the program is about, and what you want to achieve with it?
Yes. This, by the way, this conversation seemed almost surreal to me because I started working on this about a year, honestly, a year and a half ago was the first time I was having like an epiphany moment with my coaching business, and I don't know if I should say this right now, but I almost quit being an executive coach because of the problem that led me to creating what is now this program. And this is raw and real as it gets. But basically, a year and a half ago, I led into the issue of I am an executive coach. I work with leaders, I work with teams, and there was this one problem I couldn't get over after I came in and did the training and the coaching. People forgot. 6 months later, people forgot what we taught them. People forgot how to leverage their natural born talents. And it just felt like a very brush off solution to something that genuinely changed my life as a leader and genuinely changed the way I view the world and how I manage myself to become the best version of myself. So in that epiphany and in that moment, I started like working towards a solution that will allow me to make a lasting impact on every single team that I train and coach. And as you know, I'm still in corporate, right? I still lead a team and I still manage people and I still get corporate training and corporate coaching. So I am one of the people that receive that training. And in receiving these trainings, one of the things that bother me the most is that people come in, they train me for 2 3 hours and then they leave and I learn nothing, and or I learn something but I only return 5 minutes of the 3 hours. So with that, I started the creation and we hire learning design specialists that focuses on the 5DI model that really like hones in into how to design something that fulfills people expectations and help them learn. And that's how the HIK method was launched. So to know that we are less than 2 months away to actually launching that thing, it feels much more celebratory than actually the rebrand you just went through or even launching the company for the first time. Like it's taking so many blood, sweat, and tears and hours and executives that have learned help put it together and learning designers and executive coaches. Like it was not just me and my learnings from being an executive coach and a trainer, but from many other folks from many different industries. So I'm very, very proud of it.
Yeah, and just if you give a quick, say, 2 minute explanation of what the program is actually about and what people will learn in there, and yeah, what's so special about it.
Yeah, so the program is about helping teams and individuals know what their natural born talents are. But even if you have taken Gallup Clifton strengths before and you kind of have an idea of natural born talents are, that is just 25% of what you will gain here. This is about teaching you how to use it, teaching you how to use your brain and leveraging that muscle that actually can be used, putting it into practice, and giving you tools that you can use for the rest of your life to self manage yourself, self regulate yourself, know how to work better with others, and know how to communicate with others why you think the way you do. So by the end of this, you can work more effectively or lead more effectively any team that you want through this training. So the other piece that is important, we created our own platform to allow other people to take this training. So it is not self-paced, it is weekly. So for every week, you will get a new lesson and a new learning based on the HIK method, which is our pillars that we drive by. And in this training, you will get information every week, but also asynchronous coaching. So there was no platform that will allow me to do coaching in between trainings and lessons. So after you have practice and you have done these lessons every week, one of our coaches will give you feedback on your self work. We don't call it homework, we call it self work. And then the next week you will get feedback on how you did and best practices going forward. The other piece that was important for me was that I hated when I will take a training by a company or I will hire someone to give training to my team and no one will actually show me the results of the learning. So by the end of your program, you will receive a kind of analysis report teaching you where your team started and where they ended in their learning lesson. So when you are a team leader or HR team, you actually have tangible proof of the investment that you have put in your team, and you can use it in your company for performance or to track, how much you have actually invested. And that was something as a team leader that I hated, is that I would come in and someone will just, do the training and not tell me what did my team actually learn, or did you just came here and teach for 3 hours and left, which is what almost drove me to be like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, I feel a lot of these trainings, they usually just like, oh, let's tick off the box. Okay, we did some training and like, doesn't matter what actually happened there and if there is any outcome as a result.
Yes, exactly.
I have a very jerky question. I'll probably cut it off later. But you said for people to learn how to use the muscle, which is the brain. What if some people don't have that muscle?
Everyone has that muscle. I sound like my mom now. All of my kids are special, and I love them, and I love them equally, just differently. No, everyone has that muscle, and I think that's one of the beautiful things about natural born talent.
So I guess a lot of people have these concerns that, like, obviously when you're managing team and leading teams and trying to excel your own career, how are you going to find the time to do the 6-week training, which sounds like it's a lot of information in there as well?
Yes, so that's the beautiful part about it. The commitment is 30 minutes a week. So I could have just created it all in a 3-hour self-paced course and call it a day. But it was important for your team to actually be able to practice and for you to have a certified coach giving you feedback, after you finish the practice. This is goes with my theory of I am sick and tired of talking to the screen or the screen talking to me and I can't talk back. So on this platform, you'll be able to record your own videos talking to the coach. The coach will be able to answer you back and tell you basically, hey, this is how I felt this week. Oh, by the way, this actually did happen. And I think that is the big value of this, right? Like every single self-paced course you have out there doesn't talk back to you. That's why I had to create our own platform to be able to give that feedback back and receive that feedback from the actual person. So what this did, so let's pretend that we have a team of 50, which we have done in the past as an executive coaching training firm. And I have had a leader that had 50 direct reports. And as a coach, I could train all of them for 1 hour. That was 50 hours a week for that company that they had to pay this employee to take my coaching. So put it about these employees make 100,000 each person. How much does an hour each employee cost you for you to do your training with me? Instead of that, you're getting 30 minutes for that employee, for every single employee to spend on their corporate training every week. And that amount of training equals to about 4 sessions. So what we did is we made the learnings into bulks of 30 minutes and that practice that you actually do in the job. So instead of me having you in a room role playing with your peer, hey, pretend that you're coaching them. I'm asking you that week for homework on your self work to go and do it while you're at work and then come back on Friday and tell me how did that go. Because at the end of the day, the practice is in the job, it's in the work. So we're solving multiple issues here that I run up to when in my corporations we will hire for external corporate trainings. It didn't feel tangible and not applicable for the everyday of the job.
Yeah, that sounds really different to whatever I've seen in the market myself.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. I hate corporate training, and I have my own training company, which is crazy. But that allowed me to be like, what is missing in the workplace, right? And as a training and a coach, I see the value in training. It's just that for particular trainings that is to help people know who they are and know how to use their natural born talents, this was crucially important.
Yeah, that's, and I think following up on this as well, because obviously the majority of the training is just how to interact with people and how to be like a better leader. But leadership skills still differ between industries and between different companies. How participants can ensure that this program will also be tailored to like their needs and individual, like
Yes.
whatever problems they have.
Yes, exactly. Because like a lot of them will say, oh yeah, this part of the training is cute. It doesn't apply to me. This training applies to every single person in every single industry, in every single job. And more than that, in every single aspect of your life. Because just the first 3 weeks alone of this HIK training program is self work, is on the self. The last 3 weeks, we teach you how to work with others because I cannot teach you how to work with others until I teach you about yourself, until I teach you based on the scientifically based report that it says this is how your brain works. And I need to teach you how to use your brain, right? And everyone has a brain. I get
Questionable.
questionable, yes, but everyone has a brain. And especially, believe me, there's some days that I'm like, where is my brain? Like this morning, I wasn't feeling well, and I'm like, I spilled the water I was putting in the tea thing, and it just, and I'm like, where, like, why didn't I just turn down the faucet? And instead, I was touching the. So yeah, we all have those moments, but we all have a brain, and it's a muscle, and like every muscle, we can teach ourselves mechanisms to be able to implement it and use it better at work.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true, because to be honest, even like the parts of the things that you did with me with my test, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm just a better person knowing this information right now. And I feel like when you do the whole program, I'm excited to do the whole program. I'm still waiting
Yes,
for that.
yes. Soon, soon. It'll be here soon. And I'm excited to get this first wave in and learn some more. And we typically do these programs with teams, but we are for this first year, we're gonna do a cohort for individuals. So let's say that your team, you have teams that want to be enrolled, but you as an individual have taken strength finders before. Learn your top 5 strengths, or maybe don't even remember your top 5 strengths. You remembered it was kind of like a cool assessment to take, but you have no idea how to implement it, you have no idea how to use it. Then you need to take the HIK training method training, because it's like it will put it into practice. Something I always say in my trainings is like, this is not an astrology reading. This is not like, oh, I'm a Libra now, I can move on with my life. No, this is actual a tool that allows you to know how to leverage your brain. Most people lose promotions, lose jobs more because of their emotional intelligence than their actual intelligence, right? So most people will actually let their emotions run wild, not know how to use their brain appropriately for self-regulation and social regulation. And suddenly you're like, hey, remember that one thing you did in that one meeting and now you don't have a job? So it's important for you to know why did that happen. And more importantly, it happens to everyone. Everyone is emotionally regulating all the time. Everyone has emotions all the time. Whether you learn how to keep them in, or you are very open about it and very openly emotional about it, you can still make mistakes, because suppressed emotions are not going to make it any better. It's going to show up somewhere else in a worse way, actually. So that's why there's still a lot of microaggressions at work. That's why we do so much diversity and inclusion training. It's because you're suppressing your emotions, and now you said the wrong thing, and it's a microaggression, and you don't even know about it. So this program serves for me as, going directly to the cause and not the effects of the problem that sometimes we have with team dynamics at work.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I feel like this course is not just the tool of how to be a good leader. It's just a tool how to be a better person. It's like a huge personal development, like, I don't know,
Yes.
encyclopedia.
Yes, exactly. It is a huge personal development encyclopedia, and I'm so proud and excited that we get to release this to the world.
And in terms of, like, obviously it's still an investment, what kind of outcome will people get after doing this course? What's the return on investment, or like what's transformation is going to be with them? What's going to happen after the 6 weeks training?
Yeah, so it is an investment for companies, and even for yourself, you decide to go with this self-paced training. But it will give you tools that you have never been able to implement before because no one actually taught you how to self-control, how to understand what your peers are thinking and doing, right? So from an investment standpoint, our prices are pretty affordable in comparison to many other training services or even coaching services. How much will a coach, let's just say a Clifton Gallup coach will cost you? It's a 350 an hour price. That's like average for a Gallup coach. So and that's 1 hour. So you get 1 hour training for $350, right? Here you're getting the training, how to implement and leverage your strengths, asynchronous coaching from a coach, and all of this happen in 6 weeks. The amount of time that something like this will take to hit in a corporate level setting, you will need to have like at least a 6 months coaching schedule with a coach to get the same results you will get with this 6 week program. So this is rapid cultural change. You will also get hybrid and remote work support afterwards, where we're giving you tools to know how to leverage the program and strengths. So we just don't disappear, right? Like for the rest of the year, we will continue to send you tools and things to use to keep your team engaged and your job every month. But the value just from what you're doing by taking this training is you're saving time, making cultural change happen faster. Like as a leader, if someone told me, hey, in 2 months, you're going to have a team that is inclusive of each other, understand themselves, and you can directly as a leader tell them, hey, I know why you're doing this. Your brain is doing 1, 2, 3, but what I'm trying to tell you is 1, 2, 3. If someone told me in less than 2 months I can accomplish that, I'm sold. Where do I sign? And you can achieve all of this in a more affordable way than having to hire one coach for every single team member in your team.
Yeah, that sells me.
Yeah.
And what if obviously some of the people, they are either old style or they just not having a lot of beliefs in like online systems and in general, and they prefer face-to-face coaching? How does this online environment support them in actually a better way for them?
Yeah, and I want to make this clear because it's important, right? This asynchronous coaching model, it is in no way a replacement for you hiring an executive coach and working with them 1 hour each person. But when you're investing in an entire team and a whole team, having a 1 hour coach for each person is extremely expensive and time consuming. So in terms of it's not replacing executive coaching, right? You still could have your executive coach. You still can continue to work with an executive coach later on. But in order to be able to drive team dynamics in a better place, in a faster way, and get really a good kickstart, this program will really help, and also help you teach and learn along the way while doing the job. And if you are a person that prefers face-to-face coaching and you have the ability to have a face-to-face coach, because most coaches right now are hybrid, right? So there you do a Zoom call with your coach and all that. If you have a face-to-face coach that's preferred, absolutely go with that. Like that's without a doubt. This program is in addition to that, right? So if you want to, hey, I'm taking this training, it's teaching me about my strength, and you want to bring that up to your coach, I'm pretty sure your coach knows about Gallup and Clifton strengths. Bring it to your session. Tell them what you're learning by doing the practices and incorporate it with your coach. Most coaching right now is remote anyway, but I think in this world and what we serve here at HIK Trainings, it's really the hybrid, I come in person and have the week I'm off, or the remote team. We also have served in-person teams, but mostly that's our specialty, is because that's where the world is heading. And it's no longer a specialty, it's a reality. Hybrid and remote teams is a reality, and it's not going anywhere. So it's important for you to have a training that gives you the tools to keep that remote and hybrid environment. One of our biggest pain points from our leaders from having hybrid and remote teams is that they feel like they are leading with blindfolds on. Like before I could go into the cubicle and see that this guy was having a terrible day, or see that this employee is doing the report that I asked him to do, and now you can't do that. So it's a big challenge because it's like you want to motivate your team, you want to keep them happy, you want to know what's going on in their lives, but you're remote. So a lot of these will give you an insight in the way your employee works and how it helps on a regular basis. So for example, I'll bring myself as an example. I have high intellection, is my number 5, and I have high achiever, which is my number 1. So I'm either intensely doing or intensely thinking, right? And also I prefer to work alone and produce a result. So my manager, instead of being like, wow, Carol hasn't pinged me in 5 days or 3 days, right? Like he can now tell me, hey, Carol, like, because I prefer isolation, right? So he could tell me, hey, I haven't heard from you in a while, and I know you like your quiet time. I just want to know, how's this project is going. I'll be like, oh yeah, absolutely. But if he comes to me, it's like, Carol, I have doubts about this project, if it's getting done or not, because I have not heard from you. That's a very completely different way to approach this same situation. So in this training, we will teach you that, because now I know that manager's strength. I know how he talks. I know what he will say. So I can tell you, by the way, when you see this person working in isolation, that's just the way they get the most effective work done. When you ask her that question, you should say blank instead of this. And that's what one of our coaches will tell you in our asynchronous coaching session. Versus if you're just reading the Gallup report, it's not going to tell you that. So that is the difference. And that's why this training for me is so impactful.
And what would you say to a person who already tried, like, I don't know, number of leadership trainings and just feels like they all tell very generic stuff and there is nothing to like implement, and just how for them to believe that there is actually something they can work on?
So I have 2 things to say to that. One, training, coaching, and development trainings are not going anywhere. Companies get an annual budget to invest in the development of their employees. So every year you will get a corporate training or corporate coaching or some kind of development thing. It's inevitable. It's going to happen because companies get compensation and they get credit from investing in you. Surprise there. So I feel you, because every time I have to go through it every year, I'm like, here we go, another person trying to teach me something that I probably already know, but it's deep down in my brain, right? The difference between this one is that we build every single 6-week program based on the team and in the individual. So we take a look at the team dynamic issue based on the leader, and I quote that because the leader's perception of the issue might be very different than the actual direct reports. And believe me, it comes up every time when we're doing the talent assessment and we're seeing everybody else's talents, and the leader is like, I'm talking, but they don't follow me. They don't pay attention. I see the leader has number 1 communication, and all they want to do is talk. And the team is tired of hearing talk because they just talk so much that nothing that you're telling me right now is even getting in, and you don't even care because all you're doing is talking, right? So it comes really clearly when we're taking a look at the talent assessment. So every single training that, let's say you're taking a training, Kate, you will be getting this training. It is built based on your 1 to 5 strengths and your lesser talents, which are the ones that drain your energy. And then we'll take a look at what the team dynamic looks like, and we will build that training based on that team dynamic. And we will give the feedback to everyone as a team, not just the leader, but everyone as a team that has to work better together. So every leadership training you take is very, let's put 60 people in a room and let me present in front of you and give you this general information. We are building training based on every single individual, which is the reason why we had to build our own platform. Because if I use any other drip model or self-paced model tool that exists out there, it will not have allowed me to tweak the material based on each individual.
And maybe just your wish for people who will be obviously listening to our trainings and thinking if they should take on it or not, like, what's your message to them?
I think that the tools you will gain from this are tools that you will leverage and use for a lifetime, and you forever will have access to our platform and to these tools for you to use in every single job that you have. I always tell this to the people that I coach. You always have something to work on and develop on. And no matter which, if you leave this company, go to the next company, and then to the next company, you will bring those same things with you in every company that you are. So by you investing on this program, you're investing on something individualized and personalized. You have an insight tool into how your peers think, how your manager thinks. But more importantly, you will get real actual feedback versus just talking to a screen or having a screen talk to you about a training and you having a question and not being able to even talk back or answer back, right? So this is, if you're on the fence about whether you should get it or not, this is my question to you. When was the last time you actually invested in a tool that you and your team can use for their entire career and something that will help them not just in their work life, but in their personal life as they keep going? And the commitment is so minimal. It's 30 minutes a week for 6 weeks. That's the amount of how many meetings do you have in a week and how much those 30 minutes that can make a difference will cost you. So I think that when you take a look at from a timing standpoint and a value that they will gain for the time invested, and then on top of that, add the fact that you can change a culture in less than 2 months. What is the price to that? So I will say if all these things sound like I want that, then I absolutely think that this program is for you.
If you think this program is for you, please join our waiting list. The link will be under this video. The first cohort, the first ever cohort of HIK Method will launch on 1st of November. And if you join our waiting list, you'll get a lot of additional information there as well, and just the things that you can use in your day-to-day job already. Thank you so much, Karol, for this video. And we're excited about the launch.
I am very excited, and I cannot wait for you to take it. I want to take it myself, but I feel like I already know everything in it, so it's like cheating. I can't do it yet. I have to forget it first, which I don't think I can. But it is a great practice, and it will help people be the best version of themselves in many aspects of their life. So very passionate about this, always driven by authenticity and allowing people to be their authentic selves. Because sometimes in the corporate world, that's the biggest challenge. It's like, how do I show up as myself and also drive results and also be able to, be the best employee, best leader that I can be.
I'm very looking forward to it.